For this video, I'd like to demonstrate how to go from Bridge into Adobe Camera Raw and to save for web. So what I'm going to do here is I've already got my image. I can launch that into Camera Raw. I'd like to note that it does have some changes already applied. That's denoted by these two little icons in the upper right hand side. The image is selected with the blue box around it. I'm now going to launch that into Adobe Camera Raw. You'll see the switch to the other application. I'm just going to get myself a little bit more room here. And you see my changes are just updating and applied. Next, once you have your settings all ready to go for the file that you'd like to save for the web, we're going to go over and select on this little icon right up here. And you're going to notice when I hover over different icons, they give me a little dialog box. So this is going to save for web and devices. It's going to launch me into these different save options. I'd like to mention, much as with Lightroom, these settings are sticky, so once you go in and set them, they should be the same as the last time that you set the settings within the particular dialog box that you're working for your save options and such. So once again, it didn't update mine, but I'm just going to go ahead and reselect that. I want to make sure it goes to the right place. I'm going to put it into Web JPEGs and then confirm that selection. And so from here on out, that setting will remain the same. File naming, you can always change the file, give it a specific name, but you may potentially lose that particular file if you go ahead and name it and give it a different name. It'll be harder to find your original file. You can give it one of these, different options here. And you can also add a second box over on the right hand side. Moving on to the settings that we want to apply. File extension is going to be .jpg. You can see you've got the other options here in the little drop down menu. The lowercase is generally what I would recommend selecting. Format, again, make sure that's set to JPEG, that's JPEG. Quality, 10 is perfect. That's going to be in the upper size component, so you have the different options here. I'm just going to leave it at maximum. And then once again, the really important aspect is the color space. This determines that it matches the different screens that we're viewing. You want to make sure that you don't have it set to one of these other, like Adobe 1998, and I'll get more into that later on. Bit depth, 8 bits per channel. And then once again, I really do prefer resizing to fit. And this just helps me to confirm that I'm getting the right size JPEG when I export it. I do prefer the long side and the short side. I'm going to go with the long side. I've just set it to 2000 pixels. That's a really good one to export to Canvas. And then once again, when you go click on this, I can always see what that is in inches, 6.667. So I'll just switch it back because we're using a pixel-based web output. So I'm going to leave it selected there, and 300 pixels per inch. I'm going to uncheck the sharpen for screen. I've already sharpened this image. This is really a matter of choice, and you can do some tests. It'll add a little bit of sharpening to match it for your screen, and then you can change that amount from standard to high or low. And that pretty much covers. Once I go ahead and hit the save button up here, the file will render and put into the place. And then once you're done, go ahead and hit done on the bottom here.